Hey, this is RJ Hauman, FAIR's Government Relations Director, and I'm joined by Matt O'Brien, FAIR's Research Director, and busy time up here right now. A lot going on the Hill with this discharge petition, big meeting this morning, which we'll get into and cover that. But, just to talk a little bit about DACA in general. I mean, I know everybody out there, you probably have DACA fatigue. We certainly do. It seems to be all everybody is talking about. It seems to be the only priority, for Congress right now, even though, President Trump ran on rescinding it on day one and was elected to enact many of the other reforms that FAIR has long called for and that many of you support. So Matt, right now kind of what the DACA program is, there's really no urgency. The program has not ended. The president obviously tried to rescind it, and the courts and many activist judges have stepped in to stop that effort. So what's the current state of affairs with the DACA program before we get into, a lot of legislative fixes and other things that are out there?
Well, the DACA program is persisting business as usual, just the way it did when it started, largely because these district court decisions and nationwide injunctions being issued by federal district courts. So the program is continuing to accept applications, and it's just keeping on trucking, unfortunately.
Right. Now again, when people on Capitol Hill act like it would be such a great loss to our nation, to our economy, again, if the government does not act and pass some type of permanent relief for either the DACA population or a class of illegal aliens beyond the DACA population, what do you say to that, Matt? When you think of the makeup of this DACA population, is this something that is a desperate need that Congress truly must act to address?
No, it's absolutely ridiculous to think that we have to act to address this immediately. We do have to act to address the complete disaster that the DACA program is, so that we don't have people hanging in limbo. But that's something that we need to do as part of our overall immigration plan. We don't need to rush to do it immediately. And it's a big myth that these are all some kind of superhuman recent arrivals to the United States. Less than 1% of them have served in the military. The vast majority of them work in the food services and construction industries. They're attending college at a rate 10% less than the similarly situated U.S. population. So there's a lot of mythology going on out there. And the fact is that these people are your basic garden variety illegal aliens. They've broken U.S. immigration law.
Right, absolutely. These are things, obviously, that you'd never expect or never hear from the media or based on what you're seeing your lawmakers do on Capitol Hill. Again, they act like this is the most pressing thing facing them, period. Not just in the immigration context, but in general. It is one of their core priorities, rather than things like securing the border, changing our legal immigration system, ramping up interior enforcement and other things like that. Now, again, obviously this morning, with this discharge petition, these pro-amnesty Republicans and their Democratic co-conspirators are currently 3 signatures away before they can start the process called Queen of the Hill. There'd be a vote towards the end of June on 4 immigration bills, one being the Goodlatte bill, which isn't that bad, the other being the DREAM Act, which gives amnesty to almost 3.5 million illegal aliens, another bill called the USA Act, which is the DREAM Act with some token and ineffective border security measures, and then a 4th bill to be chosen by the Speaker, which would probably mirror the president's framework. But again, there was this huge meeting this morning. Leadership is hoping to come up with a bill that will make the people leading the discharge petition happy, as well as conservatives happy. But it doesn't seem, again, like they're getting anywhere. So they have the deadline. It's June 11th in order to start this vote. And June 25th, the vote would be on all these amnesty bills. And Matt, what do you think the message it sends to the American people out there that the House will vote on about 4 amnesty bills, and probably the one that will emerge from this process? It's rigged. Now, just because they're voting on the Goodlatte bill doesn't mean that's what's going to pass. What will pass is some type of DREAM Act. What message do you think that sends the American people and also people who choose and want to come here illegally?
Well, it tells the American people that their legislators are more interested in electoral gamesmanship than they are in actually doing the business of the country. This is obviously an effort by the Republicans, particularly the Rhino segment of the Republican Party,
in name only,
who are trying to pull in the Hispanic vote because they continue to believe this election myth that the only way the Republicans can get a hold of power in Washington, D.C. is to pander to the Hispanic vote. But the fact is, Republicans never pull in the Hispanic vote, and as the President Trump's election proved,
Right.
you don't need the Hispanic vote as
Right.
a conservative if you run on the immigration issue, because that's the issue that American voters are most concerned about at the present time. Virtually across the board, with the exception of the extreme left, most American people want to see the rule of law restored to our immigration system and see our borders secured.
Right. Now, I'm sure you've looked at, say, as our research directors looked at some of the numbers of the border apprehensions and things like that. One thing we've always seen, in the past, this goes back to, again, when President Obama didn't enact his DACA amnesty or just signed the DACA amnesty, we saw a run at the border. People see when America is discussing a brand new immigration benefit, people take note, especially down in Central America, and they start coming up. I think right now the border apprehension numbers are through the roof. Have you seen that as well?
Yeah, they've gone back up. When President Trump first took office, largely because of his pro-immigration enforcement rhetoric, without actually having done anything, they dropped. Then when he actually started engaging in enforcement activities, they went down through the floor, and they stayed that way until he came out and said that he wanted to make a deal with Democrats and pass an amnesty for the DACA recipients and a select group of other people.
Right.
But inevitably, people who are outside the United States and are thinking about violating our immigration laws hear about any kind of program to regularize or legalize people who are here unlawfully. They start heading to the U.S. because they figure it's in their best interest to get across the border, and they can just lay low in the United States until the next amnesty program comes along.
Right, absolutely. And again, with this discussion, people, again, they're rational actors. The smugglers, the illegal aliens, the people that want to come here. They know if the law is not going to be enforced against them or they will receive some type of benefit down the line, they will come here, and they'll come in droves. And we're going to start seeing that now. And one thing to remember, there's really no proposal that will likely pass the House or the Senate that will address the current situation of what they want to do with the DACA recipients and prevent future waves of illegal immigration. If this discharge petition is successful, which it looks like it will be, and that's not against your efforts out there. We know Fair's membership and our viewers out there and everybody who follows us has been working tirelessly to contact lawmakers and tell them that you are opposed to this amnesty discharge petition. But it's simply just a matter of political dynamics and the numbers out there. Now, again, if this discharge petition goes through, you can please stay tuned to FAIR, and we'll tell you how to direct your efforts, and we'll educate you on what these proposals mean for you and for our immigration system as a whole. But right now, things aren't looking too good. There's talk of a deal potentially coming, but we'll have some more clarity next week. The deadline that the pro-amnesty Republicans have given leadership, and it's a shame. They do have a lot of leverage here. When you have 190 Democrats on your side and you got about 30 of you, there's more. That's more than the vast majority of the GOP that agrees with us on this issue and agrees with the president on this issue. So they certainly have a lot of leverage, and we'll certainly need to rely on you to make your voice heard and oppose this effort if it goes through. So again, stay tuned to FAIR as this debate unfolds. The media is covering this extensively. Be sure to pay attention to what's going on out there. And again, stay tuned to FAIR. Matt, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
And thank you, and go Caps.